A busy weekend of racing in the German city of Hamburg was rounded off with Sunday's mixed team sprint relay. With temperatures having cooled from Saturday's individual races, athletes have the choice of whether to wear a wetsuit or not for the short 300-metre swim. Great Britain have dominated this event previously with 3 wins out of 4, and 3 new teams, Denmark, Austria and South Korea, were all making their debuts in the race. A 3.3 kilometre bike followed the swim, and it was Australia's Gillian Backhouse that led them into T1, closely followed by Great Britain's Vicky Holland. But she took a tumble in transition, which cost her vital seconds. New Zealand and Germany were also in that lead group of 4 teams. Holland recovered well though on the 1.6 kilometre run to get Great Britain back in front, as she tagged Gordon Benson, who was on the second leg for Team GB. Benson used the advantage given to him by Holland to stay out in front in the short swim. But despite exiting the water first, it was Germany's Justus Nieschlag that was first to head out on the bike. Australia's Aaron Royal had also kept his team nicely in contention. And once out onto the run, the Aussie hit the front in slippery conditions that saw Benson become the second Briton to take a tumble. Nieschlag got back in front to tag Rebecca Robisch first, with Royal hot on his heels to leave Emma Jackson with a negligible gap to make up. Those two swam side by side for much of the 300 metres, with Great Britain and France now just behind them. Things were hotting up as the 4 teams entered T1 together with a significant lead over the rest of the field. Non-Stanford was quickly through transition, but agonisingly for Robisch, she incurred a 10-second penalty for failing to have her helmet done up before the mount line. Conditions were tricky after the light rain, but Stanford hit the front, aware that 3 teams were right behind her. It was Germany's Robisch that was first out onto the run, but Germany still had a penalty to serve. France's Audrey Merle was now in second. Stanford had set off at a typically blistering pace and had built up a good lead over Jackson and Robisch. She was first back as Mark Buckingham took over, but Australia and France weren't too far behind. Buckingham and Vincent Louis, who'd won the men's race 24 hours before, were first off on the bike, closely followed by Australia's Ryan Bailey and Gregor Buchholz from Germany. Bailey's intentions were clear, and it was he and Louis that were first off onto the run. And for the second time in 2 days, it was the Frenchmen that hit the finishing chute first to earn France their first ever win in an ITU team sprint. Bailey came through to take second, with Buchholz stopping to take Germany's penalty. That allowed Buckingham to run through to take bronze for Great Britain. Germany had to settle for 4th, with Russia a further 51 seconds back in 5th. The large crowds disappointed that the home team couldn't make the podium. But France were able to celebrate a second win in 2 days by taking the gold. And being in Hamburg, it was a beer, not a champagne celebration for the podium finishers.
Two wins in 2 days can't be bad.
Yeah, no, it's not really bad. That's really, really good for me. really good for the team. As I said yesterday, that's a victory for me, but victory for friends too yesterday. And today, that's the real victory of friends.